Evening, boys and girls. TMA Sunday Night Live, where you choose the topics. We will discuss them, as always, in association with the TMA Former Players Club, funded by Pricey, Watford legend, and Watford's favourite son, Luther Blissett. Right, okay, so we're joined by my good friends, Darren Mahoney, Mr. Canadian Darren, all right, mate. Young man Dino, he's a young man, and the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Moodino. Happy birthday, mate. I've said it already, but as we're live, I might as well say it. It looks like I care now that I say it live, so. But it's happy birthday, mate. Yes. I didn't see you, so yeah, I can't see you, mate. So you've got to turn the camera on, mate.
The champ's here. The champ is here.
Right, okay, we've got a few evening, Halsey. Peter Thorpe, Clebs has to go. We'll talk about that we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Yeah, we've got a few things coming up. Let's see if we can get the catches up. Yeah, we've got Woody's question coming up right now, and there's 3 or 4 as well. So thank you very much, guys. And obviously, post up any topics. We'll try and answer them as well in the small thing we can. Annie Aluka, I've got, mate, that's a 5-hour podcast with me, mate. Jesus, don't start me on that, man. Right, we will skip through it very, very quickly near the end, mate, put it that way, without me getting completely cancelled. Right, but let moves go on that first. Right, okay, let's get on to the, that's in the segment later. Right, let's get straight on to the comments, boys and girls. Right, okay. Yeah, so Woody said, was our season over in the January transfer market when the Pozzos didn't invest? So obviously slightly did, but I know what he means. We didn't have significant investment in January. It wasn't as what we expected. So quite a valid point by Woody. Darren, mate, do you want to kick this off?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like for me, some people were saying, oh, January wasn't bad because we got Selvik in goal, which we did, but we had to buy him. We had a significant goalkeeper crisis, so we had to get a goalkeeper. So that was an investment that had to be made. Then we got Banqua, who, to be fair, hasn't been bad at all. I don't deny that. But then we got Wiley, who was injured for 2 months. What's the point in signing somebody in January when he can't play until April? I thought that was shocking. And of course, the glaring one is the lack of a forward. I mean, it's a massive risk. I don't know of any other club in the Football League that would risk being on the verge of the playoffs and go ahead for the rest of the season with 2 strikers. One who was our leading goal scorer but wasn't in great form, and the other one who's a kid who's, got a lot to learn. He looks promising, but it's a hell of a lot of responsibility on a kid's shoulders. So it was blown then, but it's been blown the last 3 years. Steady lack of investment from Pozzo, making a lot of good sales, which, I know we're going to always be a selling club, but when you continually reinvest 10% of your profit, you're only going in one direction. And this club now, we're going to finish, probably 13th, I think it is, 12th, 13th. And it'll be even tougher next year. So it's sad. Because it's, but it's the reality of where we are as fans right now, right? So for me, January was a significant setback, and I also feel that Tom hasn't been himself since January, since that kerfuffle where they were supposed to be signing that Spanish manager and then they backed down. Club seems to have changed a lot since then, and yeah, I don't know. What do you think there, Dino, on that?
Yeah, of course we needed a few more players. Like I said, with Rajovic was a strange one. We could have brought him back and we chose not to. I don't know. That was a bit weird. We could have done with him now, but let's be honest. The bloody team threw it away. They've thrown this league away. We could have made playoffs. I don't know about how, but we're always around the 6th, 7th spot. Amount of games we had a chance to get in 6 and we blew it. Then we lost again and again. Then we catch up, get within 4 points. That's down to the squad. This team was good enough to make the playoffs. This is I keep saying it. Me and Paul said before, the standard ain't great. No disrespect to Bristol City. They could still get there. And have they got a squad much better than us? Not really. maybe they've got a team that's more of a team that works hard, you know. But you know, I'm quite fed up with this season. I'm really pissed off with it now. Another loss. I really do feel for the away fans. What they've seen, 2-3 away wins all season. That is so unacceptable at this level. Maybe Premier League's different, but in the Championship, come on. There's so many more teams you should be beating in this league with our team as well. No, it's unacceptable. I'm really annoyed with them. And you saying we could finish 12th? We lose, we could finish 16th, and that puts it down to me. 12th being a acceptable, you know, okay season, like we all said, mid-table. That is, but 16th for me is terrible. That puts it to a terrible season if we lose to Sheffield Wednesday at home. So it's for me, it's a big game. I was a bit annoyed at Pollock's interview I saw after the game. You know, it's the same old crap. He's saying the stuff we want to hear as fans, but they don't really mean it. Bloody do it on the pitch. I'm sick of apologies and we let the fans down and let the manager down. Blah 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 blah. Hearing it all bloody season, you lot haven't delivered. So yeah, we did lose it a bit. Yeah, the Potsos could have backed Cleverley with more players, absolutely. But these. I fear for Cleverley. I'm being honest now. I fear for him. I really don't think he's got long left. And these players are letting down massively. We can blame the Potsos as well, absolutely. But I blame these players a lot. And I'm really concerned from Cleverley. I don't want him to get the sack. But, you know, we lose on Saturday, which could happen. I hope don't. He could be gone. And that'd be before even next season happens. So I hope that doesn't happen. But nothing surprises me now. So,
what do you reckon, Boobs?
I agree. I think the January transfer window was a kick in the nuts, a real kick in the nuts, big time. Everyone could see where we needed to invest, where we needed reinforcements. I'm not too sure. Because I know the other day, Cleverley said it was his decision not to sign a striker in the January transfer window. I personally think that's not the case. You know, he said in a couple of press conferences in January, I've told the board where we need, and a striker is one. So all this, he admitted it. No, he had to say something because they didn't go and get him a striker. And Dan was right. We've put a lot of pressure on Doomiba. Stuart, thank you very much, Stuart. Thank you, sir. And I don't know, that boy has got so much potential, but it needs to be done in the right way. And I feel we could end up burdening him if we're not careful. And that could be a real kick in the backside for us. That could be that could work against us. But Dino's right, and I looked at it. I looked at this yesterday. If we do lose and results don't go our way, we're going to slide down that table, and it's going to be a disaster. And I said it the other week. If we don't finish higher than where we finished last season, as Dino said, just don't be surprised if the Pozzos do with the unthinkable. Yes, Woody, I'm 21 again. Thank you. Love that. It's this summer will define it. If we don't, Dan, you're pretty much spot on. I think we all know that he's getting told what to say. If he actually spoke his mind, I think he'd probably be in agreement with all of us, and Pozzos wouldn't like it one little bit. But yes, January transfer window cost us. I don't think it cost us the whole season. I think there was a comment on that about indiscipline. I think there's a few players lately who have let themselves down and this club down and us down by getting themselves stupid red cards. Sissoko being one of them, your club captain. What the hell are you playing at getting yourself sent off? And then Kayembe as well. You've been booked. You've been told to calm it down. Yeah, a bit of indecisiveness from Cleverley because he's probably. I know I wasn't at Burnley. I missed it because of work. But you just look to your bench. There's got to be someone that could come on and take the heat off. You take him off on a yellow. and it's you're all good. But yeah, there's been too many silly red cards this season. Bayo being one. And although we did play better when he did get sent off, we played better with 10 men. I hate to say it, but it was true. We played better with 10 men. Yeah, it's not great, and like Dino said, fear for Clevs, really do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll quickly skip over it as well, and I just think, the players we brought in were decent, but we should have had significant investment in the summer. I know we weren't going to get it. They want to sell, but you not necessarily speculate to accumulate, because obviously we're still reeling from COVID and all the debt that we had during there. But come on, we've got to have a little bit of sense. I mean, instead of signing loads of Mogies, bloody boys, let's go start scouting in the lower leagues and start bringing in some players there, because you've all said it. We've got loads of people in the comments have said it. I've said it. There's so many players down there that we could have bought and tried and scouting in the lower leagues for players rather than the crap that we've brought in. Saying that, Selvic's a good keeper. He's, like I said, we keep speculating. He's actually permanent signing. A Bankwell definitely would get next season. I just think the culture's been shit for years, and we've been asset stripping this for about 4 or 5 years, and we're reaping the benefits of that now. With our shit with them. The problem is, though, if they get rid of Cleverly, or he goes to what reported to be Norwich looking at him, if he goes and we get someone else in, is he going to fix the problem? Until the Pozzos actually probably go now, it's not going to fix the problem, because, like you said, he's been told. Obviously, it looks like he's being told who to pick. He's been told what to say. I mean, Cleverly's got a bright future in management. I mean, what he's done with that side is nigh a miracle, mate. I did look at politics, rich get richer. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, once again, happy birthday, Moobs. Halsey apparently moves. He was going to be given the birthday bumps, but due to his age, he would take forever, and he'd like the bumps. So that's the problem, mate. I've also, because it's his birthday, Halsey, I've got a tribute Man City shirt from Moobs as well.
Cup final.
Exactly. From the moment they got told they couldn't build a new stadium, they've lost all the interest in the club. I think as well we got complacent. I think a lot of it was complacency at the start. They've lost interest now for sure, but I think there was a lot of it was complacency, because in meetings, I think at the same season we reached the FA Cup final, they were going, "Oh, we only need 3 or 4 more players. This squad's going to be good enough to really challenge," and blah 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 from Duxbury. I know Duxbury's opinions are as useful as a chocolate kettle, but that's what he basically said before we reached the FA Cup final. We had that run that we don't need many signings. We really needed to rip up that whole defence and build a new one, and we would have stayed up. We all know that. Clev's record is piss poor. Not that I'm against Clev's. He's not been backed. Yeah, no, that as well, mate. I think the culture at the club is still shit. It's not going to change. He tried to change it the first half of the season, but we're where I said we'd be, mate. I said we'll finish about 13th, 10th to 13th around then. I think a couple of other people. There was plenty on the spaces saying that we'll probably get relegated or struggle. But I said we'll be mid-table. I'll be happy with mid-table, I said. And that's how it's panned out. But Dino's right. We could have had a decent tilt at the playoffs. Not necessarily made it, but we could have a decent tilt. Right, okay. Gary's evening. Gary says, with Norwich maybe coming in for Tom, I don't blame him, because our owners won't back him until everyone be annoyed. So basically, what do you reckon? What do you reckon's going to happen with Tom? Basically, I personally want him to stay, especially with the connection with the youth. But they need to, stop interfering with the team, which they won't, and they need to back him properly. And we need to be braver and bring these kids through as well. But that's my opinion, Darren.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird paradox, because Tom hasn't done so well second half of the season. That's a fact, and the stats show it. Like 3 points from 18 is relegation form, and I think somebody else said another form the other day. We've had 19 points from 23 games. But the problem is, he is a young manager and he hasn't been back. So, and we've had injuries. We've had some bad injuries at the wrong time, lack of investment. So it's kind of hard to judge it. I mean, I do think sometimes some of his substitutions I've disagreed with, but that's just a personal fan view, right? Some of the football hasn't been the best, but again, is that on Tom's shoulders, or is it because he's trying to do the best with what he's got? It's tough to judge him on that one. I'd like to see him stay around. It's interesting because I can imagine Norwich being very appealing for a manager in his status right now. It's a steady club. It's not got the close attachments to London, and I think the owners would back him. And this is the problem we've got. I think, we're like lambs to the slaughter as fans. We'll never stop loving our club and buying the shirts and turning up. And like, I think it was Dino was on about the away fans, right? I mean, fantastic away support, and constantly being punished, travelling up to bloody Blackburn or Preston or even Plymouth away. We blew a lead in injury time. They're long distances, and it costs a lot of money these days to be a really good loyal fan. So it's tough. I do hope Tom stays, but equally, we're a bad run of form, and as others have said, you just never know with these guys, right? And they don't. That's the trouble. The Pozos don't give me confidence. It's completely the opposite. They drain the confidence from you. And I mean, he was doing far better when they were looking to bring in that Spaniard than he is now. So after next weekend, who knows? It's a shame. What about you, Dino?
I want Tom to stay. Don't get me wrong. It does come to this game on Saturday. He needs to explain how big that is, not for him, but for the fans as well. To finish our high, because it's been a terrible last 10 games. It's been shocking. For Tom to stay, I think he needs to have a proper sit down with the Pozzos. He's going to need more players. We know he's going to need 5 or 6 more players easily. It don't matter how to spend. See who we're going to sell as well. We don't know who's going to come in for who. Some people have said Loser for 10 million. I don't know who the hell's going to give us 10 million for Loser. If they did, I would snap their arms off. But Chat for Tatsy might go as well. I don't want to lose him. I'm not too bothered about Loser, to be honest with you. But Chat for Tatsy, I would be bothered about. No one's going to come in for Bar because he's injured a lot. So we'll keep him and hopefully he gets fully fit. And it all depends on what the Pozzos are going to give Cleverly. Like you said, Norwich is a good club to go to, and they'll probably back him a lot more because on the last 15 interviews, Cleverly, he don't look the same. He looks knackered. He ain't got the same enthusiasm. Like you said, Darren, it looks like it's been drained out of him. The enthusiasm, the excitement. He just looks knackered of saying the same old shit to the players and to us. It's not all his fault. He's still learning. Like I said, he's still learning. He's done some mistakes. What manager don't with subs. Me and Paul have been at the game, like everyone else, saying you've got to bring them on earlier. Sometimes it's gone well. We give him credit when it does, and sometimes it's gone wrong. Every manager does it. He's still brand new, so he's got to take all that on board. He's learning, and like I said, I really hope we win on Saturday and we finish 12th, and that's a decent season for us. That's like Pigeon, everyone says we want improvement. That's an improvement. You've got to go up a couple of positions to improve. So it all depends on that. It's a big factor. But if not, he'll probably have 10 games next season. We're not around the playoffs. He could be gone. Or like me and Moots said, he could be gone even earlier if it don't go well on Saturday. So it's a humongous game on Saturday. He needs to really dig it into them bloody players and make them show some guts for a change, because I ain't seen it in probably 10 games.
Yeah. So what was the thing again? I thought I've switched off a bit. I was like,
It's
Cleverly going to Norwich, maybe.
Tom. Yeah.
Oh, Claire's going Norwich. The boys are right, because Clevs could get backed at Norwich, but what you got to remember is there a financial situation at Norwich? Because they've been out the Prem for a little while now, so they haven't got the Prem money anymore. So will they have to offload some players in the summer? I could actually see him teaming up with Jack Wilshere, as much as I hate that player, that little bit. You know, I could actually see them. You know, they could probably form a partnership and probably do well at Norwich. Like what I was going to say, I just sort of go back to earlier. If we, you know, like what Dino's just said, we lose next Saturday. Jesus Christ, there could be a big stewards inquiry from the board. You guarantee that it's not going to end well if it did happen. If he did go, he goes. You know, I still personally think that the Pozzos want this Spanish guy. I think they're trying to hide it. And you could probably see if Klebs did go, whether Norwich make an approach, or if it does turn out to be true, Norwich want him, if they do make an approach, or if the Pozzos decide to pull the trigger, is this Spanish geezer lying in wait? Has he been told that, you know, there's going to be a scenario and we're going to do something? I think he hasn't, you know, this second half of the season, he hasn't. I don't think he's done particularly well with the squad he's got. Like what Dino Darren said, the players have let him down on numerous occasions. As I said earlier as well. But if he went, he goes. Yeah, whether he's forced out or whether he decides it's time to jump. But the test would be if Klebs did go to Norwich and the same things happened again, what would Norwich do?
Yeah, true, mate. The thing is that this Spanish guy, I was looking it up. They're going, oh, he's ex-Villarreal. He only managed about 4 games. It's like, Jesus Christ, mate. You know.
Yeah. Didn't they sack him?
Exactly, as well, mate. So it's you know, he's hardly Carlo Ancelotti, is he? Fucking hell. You know, it's I'd rather have Klebs. I mean, Jesus. But no, there needs to be an increase. I think if we lose, obviously I'll go to every game thinking we'll win anyway, regardless how shit our form's been. But I think if we lose, I think he's gone. I don't want him to go. I've already said that. I think they need to back him properly, but there needs to be a change of ownership because it's just not working now. I mean, they've done fantastic stuff at the start. We had our you know, FA Cup final, you know, our consecutive seasons in the Prem, you know, they improved the squad, but ever since 2020, it's just gone downhill, and it's just just getting by sort of thing. Yeah, sorry, mate, go on.
No, I was going to say that's the problem. Like I said the other week, the longer they stay, each year they invest less. So their mythology, whatever you want to call it, their hero status at Watford Football Club diminishes every year. When they came in, they were great. You know, we had a ton of talent from Udinese, and we had Zola, and eventually we got promoted, and we did have 5 great years. But I completely agree, the complacency at the end and touch of arrogance, I think, really cost us. And since then, it's been a decline. And the thing now, there are still there'll always be Watford fans absolutely love the Pozzos, and I totally get that. But a lot of people now will say, well, yeah, they were good. They were good for us once. They really were. But not now. Not now. It's like a stain or a stink. It won't go away.
No, exactly, mate. Right, okay. Just before we go on the segment, I'll throw up some comments. We've got Angela's who should get player of the season. We'll go for that in a second. Right, I'll get some chat off because I haven't thrown much chat here. Right. Klebs' record is piss poor. Not that I'm backing Klebs. I'm against Klebs. He's not been backed. There's some Stuart. He's also said, we all got told start of the season, top 6 finish. Fuck off. We've been shit. It's been a shit season. TV commentators all say the same as Duxbury that we have an excellent squad that should be challenging. I don't know what they've been seeing that we can't. Crouchy saying we were waiting. We're waiting till all our season tickets before they're pulling the plug on Cleverley. If he goes, I wish him all the best from Woody. He's the only one. He's only lasted because of the fan revoke. Yeah, it could be a good point, actually, mate. I honestly thought he was gone then as well. If Udinese is sold, will that change the situation? That's from Mr. Peter. Halsey, when you look back at the days of Abdi, Delafeu, Vidra, Capu, it's gone downhill. a bit too quickly for comfort. And to Rob Salt in the Woods from Stuart, lose this weekend, scum win. We're above them by 4 points. Yeah, great season. Need to get real, folks. I begin to want Tom to go because I like him, and the Potters will ruin his career. That's from Dan. Nothing left season. Wake up. Every game is huge, Dean. I know still in this group. That's from Stuart. Delia will keep Tom right. Let's be Avenue. That's from Halsey. Woody, we can only see the start of this. The start of next session. That guy will be in. The Spanish guy. Potso's
back.
It's brilliant, mate. The Potsos don't want Tom there. It's only us fans that save him. And Mr. Terry, one of our partners in Reach Group, photocopiers. We've obviously got the email if you want to email him for any quote on photocopiers. Leading firm, please do. He says, as much as I hate to compare us to the scum, they signed a couple of decent players from League One and has picked up their results, whereas we didn't and have dropped off. Mr. Terry. Right, player of the season, boys. Before we go on the segment and anything else you want to add as well, boys. I'd say Imran Loser.
Good shout.
It was close to Pollock, but I'm going to say Loser now.
I was going to say Loser and Pollock are close second.
You'd be talking Pollocks though, wouldn't you, if you said that?
But I think that's trying to put a positive light on it. That's where I think you can see Tom has done well. He really brought Pollock on this year, and Pollock looks a far better player under Cleverly. But yeah, I think Loser as well. And again, credit to Tom on this. Loser seemed to be out in the wilderness, and at one point quite happy to be out in the bloody wilderness. But he's come back and he looks the best he's ever looked in a Watford shirt this last 6 months. He's looked really good. So I think that's a fair shout, Pidge.
Young man.
Pollock and Chat for Tatsy. Only
no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm going to go Pollock and Chat for Tatsy, only because Chat for Tatsy's entertained me whenever I see him, and Loser don't do it constantly enough for me. So between them two.
Reeling them in, mate. Reeling
in. I think if I'm going to go with what Darren said. I'm going to go Loser and Pollock. I think Pollock this season, out of what we could probably say out of a bad bunch, I think Pollock has been instrumental at the back. There's so many times he's thrown his body in the way. How he's not had concussion injuries, I don't understand. That boy has just literally, he's been battered and bruised more times than bloody Chris Eubank did last night. So for me, he's up there. And Loser has been outstanding. Like I say, he bided his time, he waited, and then when he finally got given the chance to shine again, he has shone. You think back to the goal at Sunderland, you can't do. There's no one else in the team that can do that. Well, apart from Vatter, but he's right-footed. But I think also maybe you could probably throw Kayembe in there because he has done well over the season and he's scored a fair few goals for us. So he'd probably be up there as well. But yeah, I think overall, I actually think Matty Pollock's going to get it.
Yeah. I think there's a few decent shouts there as well, mate, to be fair. But look, it's 30 years. Look, I'm looking at 30 years ago, mate. I was more optimistic then than I am now for next season. We finished 7th then 30 years ago, and we finished, was it possibly 13th, 14th?
We could finish as low as 16th if we're not careful.
I know. Well, at least we finished above the scum. That's the only positive thing to come from this season.
Well, it's strange, we're saying that about finishing above the scum. That Stuart put a cracking comment up. If they do stay up and win on the last day and say we lose, they're only going to finish 4 points behind us.
Yeah, I know.
And that's shocking, embarrassing with the gap we had at one point.
Was it 20 points at one time?
Yeah, we were well clear of them. And I think that's something that's got to be taken into account as well.
But they backed Bloomfield in January. Sorry to interrupt you, mate. They backed him in January.
Yeah. Yeah, they had to because they were in a mess.
Yeah. Well, agent,
Dan,
or Agent
Dan, what are you
Edwards
smoking?
again. Huh?
Dan is smoking something. There is no way that man is getting player of the season.
I told you I'm fishing for comments. Bio gets my vote, Dan, as well. Don't listen to these bloody negative people. But a Bio best player of the season, mate. 110% agree with you. Yeah, fuck these lot here. And the comments, me and you, Dan, mate. Bio, yes, come on, mate. If he wins it, mate, I'm in the pond, mate. Thanks,
Stuart,
Smooth,
no
for the
worries,
call
mate.
out. We are in demise.
You're absolutely welcome, Stuart. You are welcome, mate. Always a pleasure.
You pay your money, you take your choice, mate, don't you?
Exactly. You play your cards right and all. Hey.
Hey, right. Let's get on the segment, mate.
For the final time.
The final time, mate. Yeah, no, obviously, because I ain't doing one next week and bugger off. This fucking season's finished. Do this one. We only do it for the banter anyway, boys and girls. So, right, okay, let's get cracking with the nappy.
Oh, I love that intro, guys. If you don't love that intro, oh my word, I don't know what's wrong with you. Yes, hello, welcome. For the final time this season, we are gonna go in to the depths of the non-league and the women's team as well. I'm gonna start with non-league because I've got to get this out of the way. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, is all I can say for yesterday, because yesterday was near enough final day for a lot of the leagues, except the National League, which is the one below Football League. They wrap up next weekend, and it's set for a Grand Slam finish there as well. Barnet already crowned champions, but it's down the bottom. It's a relegation battle. Could be any one of about 3 teams could go down. South Park beat Hayes and Yedding. That is brilliant because I know full well Danny Hyman will be annoyed with that one. Plastic Hayes and Yedding fan he is. But yeah, I'm gonna start with a little roundup. It's a sad roundup, unfortunately, because it was a bad day for local non-league clubs. It was very bad. So bad that I'm just gonna have to quickly go through these, because if you're a Hemel fan, well, talking about finish the season on a downhill spiral, they got absolutely thumped by Torquay United yesterday at home, by 4-1. Stuart, I will get on to that in a minute, because I'm not happy with this today. I'm not happy with that today. No disrespect to the girls, because it wasn't entirely it's not their fault. But anyway, Hemel bowed out with a defeat, losing 4-1 at home to Torquay. It was even more sad news, and I think Pidge might have a cheeky smile on his face when I say this, but unfortunately for St Albans, they tried the great escape, but it did not happen, because they got absolutely thumped by the newly crowned champions of the National League South, which was Truro City, by 5-2, which also meant that St Albans City have been relegated. That is right, they have been relegated from the National League South. And it means there'll be no Hemel St Albans derby fixture next season, home or away, which is going to be, for the first time in about 15 years, it's not going to happen. It's very surprising. Also, yesterday, and this is a bad demise. We've got to say farewell to Kings Langley as well, because they've suffered a relegation. I believe they slipped up. It's cost them their league place, so they've dropped down to step 4 now, which they're really falling down into free fall. I've got to say big congratulations to Leverstock Green, because they were actually the ones who relegated Kings Langley by winning their final game of the season to stay up. Could you believe it? They're doing what that lot of Junction 10 are doing, gone on a winning run at the wrong time. Really didn't want to see that happen, but yeah, unfortunately, yeah, they stayed up and Kings Langley went down. It is not looking good. And I'll tell you what, if you follow Wildstone, that's why I said at the top of the show, it's going to get interesting next week for them, because they could also be relegated from the National League back to National League South next season if results don't go their way next weekend on final day of the season. It is set for, like I say, it's set for a Grand Slam finish. And you can bet your bottom dollar it will happen. But always remember, next season, guys, if you're not enjoying normal football, go and watch some non-league football. It is one of the best days out. And I'm just going to quickly touch back on the Hemel one, because yesterday there was a whopping 2,400 Torquay United fans that made the journey up. They were absolutely brilliant, all well behaved, no trouble, no nothing whatsoever, apart from them having one massive day out. And all their fans were lovely. And yeah, they didn't win the league, but they still went home smiling. So good luck to Torquay in the playoffs if they don't win. Well, it'd be a nice trip down to the English Riviera next season. Preferably not in December again, though. So there we go. The non-league wrapped up for another season. Like I say, it's been an emotional roller coaster this year, especially if you followed Hemel, or if you follow Hemel. It was the best start to a season ever, followed by the worst blip that they've ever had, and now they seem to be back on the right track. So fingers crossed for next season. Who knows? They might do the unthinkable and get promoted. Strange things have happened. So, anyways, say goodbye to non-league for this season. Yes, Helen Chamberlain was present. She was at the game yesterday. There was a picture of her. I wanted to meet her, but I could not get anywhere near her. So, I think she was pretty happy with the result. So Helen, if you get to see this, I hope you enjoyed yesterday, and I hope you enjoyed your visit to Vauxhall Road, and come back again. We'd love to have you there. So moving on from that one, and for the last time this season, it's time to talk about the ladies. Yes, and there we go. Pidge has just put it up. As you can see there, the girls made one final trip down to the southwest this season. They went and took on Exeter City at St James's Park, or whatever it's called. That stadium, I don't really know now. They raced into a 2-goal lead early on, thanks to goals from Izzy Fisher and Flo Fife. But were pegged back in the second half with 2 goals in 2 minutes from the home team. One, a dubious penalty, which I've said is not a penalty, and the ref caved in. And the other one, the girls just were not switched on, and Exeter capitalised. But it does mean, with a 2-2 draw, they finished the season a whopping 9 games unbeaten. And there we go, the table's up there now. They finished 3rd overall, which is a damn good result, considering the start of the season wasn't exactly brilliant. There was a few things going on off the pitch that I will talk. I can't talk about. Woody, I'm in agreement with you. It was not a penalty. Con the ref big time. But yeah, they have bowed out with a brilliant record from that division: 13 wins, 5 draws, 4 defeats. Anyone who's Dan, at the moment, we're not entirely sure. We are under the impression that there will be an announcement at some point over the summer. Now, we're not quite sure when. We're not sure what it involves, but as soon as it does get announced, we will get it all posted up. And yeah, hopefully it will. It sounds like the announcement will be good news, but we don't know what the news is going to be. That's the best way I can put it. So yeah, once we know, you guys will know as well. Stuart, thank you, mate. You've been absolutely brilliant this season. Absolutely love you, mate. So yeah, like I say, the girls have bowed out. And also, I just want to take this moment to say, because we've one of our players who's been on loan this season, Jessie Gale. Jessie, if you get a chance to see this, I just want to say on behalf of all of us, thank you for everything this season. You are one top young girl who is going to get to the top of women's football. I know that. So enjoy your summer rest, because you played so much footy this year. And honestly, good luck for the future, because we're going to miss you in a Watford shirt. And remember, once a Hornet, always a Hornet as well. So, yeah, hopefully we go again next season. Hopefully a lot of the squad will still be there. We don't know. We don't know who's staying, who's going. Here, Woody. Yeah. Too right, Woody. But yeah, but I just want to say, everyone, if you've been to a women's game this season, thank you very much for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, then next season, make it your priority. Come down on a Sunday afternoon. We have been told that the girls will be back at Wealdstone next season. That I was told by people from the stewarding lot from Wealdstone the other week at the last home game. So we are going back to Wealdstone next season, possibly for the last season. So I don't know if that's part of the announcement. Someone might have let slip something that they probably shouldn't have done, but they did anyway. But yeah, like I say, Woody has said it as well. Just a big thank you to everyone that's supported the girls, whether you've been or not, whether you've followed it on social media or tuned in like you are now. Just a big thanks, and have a wonderful summer, and we'll go again next year.
Hey, is he on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, thank God for that. For once, I don't know. I think he's gone. So we will dispel of that man.
I was down. I don't
know.
He logged off. I thought he was there.
Oh, it's a black screen.
Ah.
It's like you, mate. We can't see him. That's the problem. Yeah. Right, we've got to shoot off, but just a massive thank you to everyone this season. Everyone from the Verdicts as well. Greg, you Moobs, Dino, Major Tom, Darren, Danny Iron for doing a fantastic work on a Friday night. Obviously, we dispelled that because I didn't have time to do it. Amazing bloke, Danny. Cheers, mate. No beer of the week. No, he's probably gone to have a beer, to be fair. But and everyone who's helped out and commented on the forum and everything this season, you've been absolutely amazing. And especially everyone watching. Most importantly, you guys make us do the podcast and make it what it is. So thank you ever so much from the bottom of all our hearts, guys. Absolutely legends, every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for that. Also a massive shout out to Richard Johnson on his birthday as well. Jono, shoot Jono. Sorry.
Shares it with a legend.
That's it, mate. Your birthday's here as well, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday as well, mate. Yeah, we need to state that to Jono that you do realise you share it with Moobs. Yeah. I don't think he knows yet, mate.
No, I don't think he does.
No, because it'd be like, oh my God, really? Who scored the most goals? We really don't know. Yeah, no, Stuart, cheers, mate. That's a well done to you as well. To be fair, this is only one bit well done to me because of you guys. Been absolutely amazing who are watching it and thing. You're as much of the podcast as we are. So thank you very, very much. Like we said before, and Moves will probably get embarrassed. Look, at the end of the day, 99.9% of all we do in terms of promoting the women's game is down to Moves. The 0.001% is what I post up or share posts. It's easy for me to do, but with what Moves does is absolutely amazing promoting the women's game. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's got oh Jesus. That'd be brilliant. No, as far as we're concerned, I've got my opinions on thing, but the women's game was held back for 50 years, and that's due to the men's game holding it back. So I'm in no illusions with that. But and Eni Aluko is holding the women's game back as much as most people. She's not doing it any good. And to be fair, Wrighty's one of the main advocates of women's football. He's been absolutely amazing, Wrighty. Better than a lot of people, to be fair. So yeah, her comments were absolutely ridiculous, but there you go. Hey ho. Right, we've got to shoot off. I've got night shift, so I'm reveling in the glory of a night shift now. So I will see everyone very, very soon. See you next season. As always, you've been beautiful. We've been TMA. It's good night from the Turkish immigrant.
It's good night from Moves.
And it's good night from the half and half City fan.
Aha, City!
Sit there.